A team that has had some struggles, but not much as of recently, have been the Golden State Warriors. And I think that River can talk more in depth about this because this is his favorite team because he bandwagons the Warriors because of Steph Curry.
Wow.
And I know that on Twitter, River is very critical of Steve Kerr. And he recommended this segment. So, Riv, I want to ask you this question.
Why are he putting you on the spot?
He's crazy, bro.
You can't have ideas, bro?
Is Steve Kerr costing the Warriors games? What do you think, Riv? Because you've been bashing him on Twitter a lot.
You are really a snake.
Wow, he's going off on you, bro.
For the record, they're not really my favorite team. I'm just a Steph Curry fan. If Steph doesn't play, I don't acknowledge them at all that day. So that's it. Yes, I do believe Steph Kerr. I do believe Steve Kerr is definitely costing them a few games, and I want to get into that a little bit. And it's not Steve Kerr has always been KD. Remember when KD was talking about Steve Kerr as a coach?
Yeah,
talking about how he makes bad decisions, how he's very bad in situations. I think we're starting to see a lot of that this year. And with this team, you've seen that Steve Kerr was going to get a lot of eyes on him because he didn't have Klay this year. Draymond's kind of old. And we're going to see the first time where Steph Curry is
come back off an injury.
Yeah, he doesn't have an all-star next to him. So
exactly.
it was going to be a lot of eyes on Steve Kerr. And what we've seen this year is Steve Kerr makes a lot of bad decisions in situations. It's kind of like in football when you see a coach have bad clock management or you see a coach
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like Steve Kerr makes a lot of bad subs and situations. For example, Golden State played Boston the other day. It was a great game, great back and forth. They were going at it. Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr starts the fourth quarter, no Steph Curry. Golden State, they're doing good. His problem in games like that, where the games are getting out of hand, where you start to see the other team fading out, he refuses to put Steph Curry in the game. And I get it. He's trying to hold Steph Curry. He's trying to keep Steph Curry's career going further. He doesn't want to play him 35, 36 minutes because he wants to keep him healthy for the next year. I understand that. But in a situation where you can win the game, the team is down 6-7, they lose momentum, they need their guy, their leader to come into the game, and you have him sitting out there and letting Brad Wanamaker play the whole time. It's embarrassing. Not to mention the starting lineup of Steph Curry, Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman is horrible. It is actually one of the worst starting lineups in the league by the numbers. It's just a fact. You can look it up. It's literally one of the worst starting lineups in the league. Starting Damon Lee or even starting Juan Toscano, who he has been doing, has been the right move. Going with a small ball lineup with Wiseman now, obviously he had to do it, and Kevon Looney. Starting Kevon Looney is horrible too with Draymond. I don't know why he thought that was right. But starting Damian Lee or Juwan Toscano has been the right move because Kelly Oubre he hasn't been good with the first unit. He just gets the ball, he chucks up. He kind of has 3D vision. He doesn't look anywhere else. Putting him on the bench with the second unit is honestly better because you let him run and operate, or you let Wiggins do it. But the fact that Steve Kerr, he just makes bad decisions in situations where all you have to do is put your star in and let him be a star, let him be a leader. And that's why I think Steve Kerr, I think the championships were great. I think KD and Steph Curry were a great duo. He won his championship. He got his flowers. But I think this year we're starting to see that Steve Kerr is not really that great coach that we thought he was going to be.
See, I'll say this. First, his name is Juan.
Sorry.
His name is Juan Toscano. Juan. So Juan Toscano Anderson. He has been playing pretty good. So I agree with most of your points. I think Steve Kerr has been leaving Steph Curry on the bench for way too long in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And I think he has been keeping Oubre in the game with Steph way too long. And Oubre, he's better on the second unit because he can play freely. When he's with Steph, he thinks too much and he
kind of has to try to match his game. I feel like he tries to do that.
But I kind of agree with why Steve Kerr puts Oubre in there because Oubre has to learn sooner than later. They haven't had many practice reps. So this is the only time they can really practice that chemistry. And you look at when Oubre gets going, he can win the Warriors games like he did against the Mavericks where he scored 40.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I just want to mention this real quick outside of the Steve Kerr conversation. If there's one player that analytics has not affected, it's Draymond Green. You know that in terms of PER, he has the worst, if not one of the worst PERs on the Warriors team, But I think in terms of most important players, he's their second most important player. He's averaging 6.6 assists per game. And you saw it when Draymond got back for the Warriors earlier this year is when they started to win games because he puts everybody in perfect positions. And I know that he's scoring he's scoring like 4 points per game or 5 points per game, but he just makes such a huge impact on the game. And him more than Steve Kerr, I think, is the reason why the Warriors have started to really do their thing. But I agree with you. I think if it wasn't for Steve Kerr, Steph Curry probably has a couple of 40 or 50-point games this season. But because Steve Kerr has been very hesitant to play Steph Curry for a lot of minutes a game, Curry has not been at the top of this MVP discussion. Because if he plays Steph Curry 36, 37 minutes a game, Curry's easily maybe top 3 in the MVP discussion.
See, I kind of feel like Steve Kerr, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I do think that there's you gotta play or coach to win. You can't be trying to save someone's career. It's kind of like when Jordan had that one season where he got that foot injury, came back, they're down to 3 seconds left or whatever, it was like 6 seconds left. Like he's like, put me in the game. You got to coach to win. But I also do feel like, let's say he keeps him in for too long and then Steph Curry starts to do bad or he's not hitting the shots that he needs to hit for his team. And then I kind of feel like if he's keeping him in there for too long, it's like, well, why is Steve Kerr, why is he doing that to Steph? Why is he making him look bad? But now he's sitting him too much. And it's like, well, why isn't he letting him go?
I want to say, no, and it's Steph Curry is one of the rare players in the NBA where no matter
I love Steph.
Yeah, he cannot hit one shot in the game and he'll affect the game just because he's out there. Because Oubre's not hitting anything.
Nothing.
They're leaving him wide open. Wiggins has been actually surprisingly really good. Defensively, he's been hitting 40% the three, so he's been really good.
He's playing his role really well.
Draymond Green, they're not guarding him obviously because they know he's not gonna. He has a wide open lane. He won't take it. He will pass that ball up. So it's like you got one guy shadowing Curry, and everybody's really zoning in on where Curry's gonna be.
That's true.
So I think just having him out there opens up the passing lane and opens up the cutting with Oubre. That's where he should be doing. He should be cutting, getting open lanes because Draymond's gonna hit you. So you should be getting those lanes, and that's why he's always dunking on somebody every game because he has those passing lanes. Wiggins, he's gonna get his. I just think Steve Kerr, what he likes to do is he likes to play Steph the first quarter and then have Wiggins run out there with the second unit and be that number one guy. I think it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, but against the good teams,
it's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, you gotta just against Boston. He runs it's 2 minutes left. He runs a play for Andrew Wiggins to take a three. I don't know why he did it, but he did it, and it was just Steph is hot. You got to give him the ball. This is a win now. You need this win. This is a very crucial game. This is against Boston.
Statement win.
Yeah, you have him the ropes. He makes just a lot of bad decisions, and a lot of things Kevin Durant said about him are starting to become true. And I think when Klay gets back next year, it's gonna be crazy because he's probably gonna mask all of this Steve Kerr hate, and he's probably gonna put that away because Steph and Klay are probably gonna save him. But I think Steve Kerr has a problem with situations and how to really manage situations and how to be that coach. I think I don't even know if he can really adapt to it. I think just trusting in the fact that Steph Curry is going to be okay and he's going to be ready for next year. You got to just this year play to win because you guys are still a playoff team.
Exactly. You don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the year. And it's kind of funny, my bad to cut you off, but it's kind of funny for to see his career and see who he was around his whole career and play with a great MJ and be coached by Phil Jackson, you would kind of think he would have learned a thing or two.
I think he has.
On how to
respectfully.
No, I get it. Obviously they were a dynasty. They won a lot of rings. But I'm just saying now and when your second best player is there and then I feel what Steph brings to that team, kind of what Riv said with the passing and drawing, having a shot or whatever. What he does for the Warriors doesn't you can't put it on a stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? His presence, you can't grade presence. That's just something that a player does. The greats do that. Draymond, he brings a presence to their defense where, he's that the anchor of their defense. So I just feel like what Riv was just saying. In basketball is all about situations, especially coming down to 2 minutes, close game. You need your closing lineup, and you need your best player out there. Regardless, you got it just comes down to coaching to win.
Dog, he's running ISO plays for James Wiseman.
Kevin Durant
is
a
rookie.
Kevin Durant, we can all agree, is a basketball savant. He said those things about Steve Kerr. Another coach that people didn't really pay attention that he said similar things about was Nick Nurse. I mean, when Kevin Durant talked about Nick Nurse, Kevin Durant said that Nick Nurse was a very good motivator, but in terms of X's and O's, he's not very good. And, I mean, that's showing this season when the Raptors have been struggling, and we see that Nick Nurse, he's a motivator, but he's not a guy that's, a very X's and O's guy.
He's not going to run up 2 good plays or whatever.
Whereas a guy like Brad Stevens really is.
He's great at it.
And Quinn Snyder. You got a couple guys like that.
I think the Celtics are so good because of Brad Stevens.
Yeah,
because he does get those good rotations out in good situations.
I think you saw last night when Draymond's running the offense, you saw the 15 assists of how he just unleashed his will and became that playmaker that they need. I think that is what they need to start doing, that small ball lineup. That was always the Warriors' key, small ball lineup. Yeah. That's the thing that worked for him. I think just Steve Kerr is just a guy who's just very bad at rotations and very bad at situations. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how to adapt to the situation. I think that's going to kill them. Right now they're 12-10. I think they've played pretty well up to competition. They got a couple stinkers, but they've won a couple good ones against the LA teams, both LA teams. So shout out to them. We'll see how the season goes, but Kerr has been horrible.
Is Clay coming back at all
this year?
No, he's gone.
He's done this year.
Yeah, he's done.
He's been on the team with them though, traveling with them and stuff.
But he's not playing this year.
Oh no.